Hello, everyone. Welcome back. I'm back again with Dr. Mark Howard, and today we wanted to focus this section on rapport building and making a connection with clients. And this is something that Mark is really great at, and something that well, let me just say this: when I first started coaching and learning about the three principles, I would get into a conversation with a client, and it was almost like I couldn't wait to teach them the three principles, right? And it was a very almost rushed approach. It was almost like I couldn't wait for the client to stop talking so I could start telling them about what they needed to know and how important it was. And I remember listening to Mark talk about rapport, and it was something that I hadn't really given much importance to. But after hearing Mark talk about it, I started becoming more aware of it, testing it out, and realizing just how much of a difference it made in my coaching practice. And so we wanted to share a bit about this because I think it's so important and will help everyone who's listening to this to kind of be more impactful and more successful as coaches.
And so there's some things to think about in terms of rapport and kind of begin to see for yourself. The first thing for me is that it looks like, you have to build a connection, but with the understanding of the principles, you're already in connection, right? I mean, you really have to see that that you and your coaching client are already mind. You're already in the spiritual connection. There's no separation. Again, it looks like separation because you're physically distinct. Your coaching client has thinking that is they're wanting your help with in order to reach some goals. So the form in which we show up and the way our thinking gets expressed makes us think that we are different in terms of, or separate, maybe the better word. So the first thing I sit in is that we're both mind and we are already spiritually connected. So that's powerful. I mean, if you're sitting with someone and you could look beyond what they're presenting to you, you're in a different place than trying to build rapport. You're having strategies for rapport. Because if you sit just knowing that, and it doesn't mean you have to really know that you've had this spiritual insight into knowing that, but just the feeling of really having a sense that that's true. So that already gets you into a deeper place of connection with coaching clients than other approaches, or like for me, what I was trained in before really finding this understanding.
So because I don't know, I've not done loads of coaching qualifications, but I'm assuming this isn't central in a lot of them, at least. Maybe it is in some, but I'm guessing this might be new to people around why is it so important to see on this level of kind of soul that there is no separation, that we are the same, that to have this feeling of love and rapport, like what's the big deal? Why is that so important, and what impact does that have in our work with people?
Well, it makes people feel safe with you. It calms people's minds because they can feel you know this. They can feel the depth at which you see them. Everybody can. Everybody in your life can tell the level of depth you're seeing them. you know when you're bothered by your partner, they know you're bothered, right? So so what happens is, in coaching work, people feel safe with you, psychologically safe. So really, the depth at which they talk with you, it's deeper. They can reveal more things to you that can help you in guiding them. So that's one thing, is that they feel what you know about them. So that's valuable. And so if people are relaxed and feeling psychologically safe with you, then it's easier to take the next steps of showing them something. The other piece for me is, I call it, you're human then. um, I'm just me. It doesn't matter um, if I'm off with what I'm sharing. It doesn't matter if I lose the feeling for a bit. I just can be more human with people. So I say things like, now I'm not saying this is a strategy. It just occurred to me that in my relationship with my coaching clients, that, if I got off topic, I'd just say, I'm sorry. And it would just come to me to say, I really want to hear what you're saying. Let's go back to that. So, you're just more human. You're in the human condition. You realize your thinking can go astray. You could lose your good listening, but also you can find um, uh, deeper realization to share with your coaching clients that lead them to understanding and so forth. So when people gain an insight in my presence, I really say, "Oh man, I'm so happy you saw that." And I heard what you saw, but I really want to hear what you saw. Or you might say, "You know what? It doesn't look like you're really able to, it doesn't really look like I'm able to really share this well. Why don't we just talk about things? How's your day been? How's your family?" And just to keep finding that feeling and see if we could go further. So that's the other value of this, is if you got nothing on it, if you could just be another person, it's hard to say it in words. If you're just human, it's human to human, you're just in a partnership, you don't have the insight to give them that if they get it, they're going to get their own. You have a feeling to give them. You have your own thoughts that can guide them. But all you're doing is trying to help them awaken their own their own wisdom, you see? And so if the feeling in you for them is off, you're not getting anywhere. So, for example, as you were sharing in the moment, in the beginning, because, when you were thinking, oh man, I got to get to teaching the principles, the feeling was off. See, because you were trying to get somewhere, so you weren't, you were in your own thinking.
Coaches are the same, but one coach they've got a really good rapport with, really good connection with, and um, they feel more connected with them, and they're talking to a real person, right? A real human person. I used to think they would pick the person who was more impressive. They would go for the more impressive coach rather than the human coach. But that's not true. And in my journey before I came to the principles, I didn't pick coaches based on who was the most impressive. That might have maybe got me into a group somewhere, or maybe got me looking at their website. But in terms of actually hiring someone, I always hired people I had some connection with, some rapport with, some level of trust with. And I didn't hire people because they were perfect, right? Because then they wouldn't understand me, and I would be so, my problems would be so alien to them. But I would hire people who I felt could just help me. And sometimes the most human people are the ones that I think understand me better and can help me and are less intimidating. So this is all kind of connects with both the impact we have on the sessions, and also with, creating clients and building a business. And you've given such wonderful examples of, talking to people and then kind of really stepping back, getting back to the feeling. and it's no surprise to me that when you did that, the relationship went smoother and better.
Well, I think that's something that I have heard from you and learned from you, that, just like you said, we could be in a rush to share the principles with a client or a potential client, right? And have that change the rapport. It's the same thing when you're meeting with someone who might want to hire you as a coach. The minute you get into, you may, um, present your programs and what you can do for them and so forth, in a way that, takes you away from the rapport before the rapport was developed well enough to talk about how you can be of service, right? You can rush into that too. But what I've also seen about this beautiful feeling state that we're calling rapport is that it's not just up to you. When you're in that feeling, it doesn't mean like it's nothing. Because again, if you're listening to the principles, and you may have listened to Sydney Banks, there's an intelligence there that's guiding you. So the more you're in that feeling of what we've called rapport, um, you'll just see where to go next. But you're right. That's one of the most powerful aspects of what we're talking about in terms of coaching clients feeling psychologically safe, and always coming back to that. And because, again, when people present to you, they're not presenting you they're not going to present to you their best thinking. Otherwise, they wouldn't need you. So you have to help them feel safe with letting you know exactly what's in their way for their getting to what they want to get to by hiring you. But you see, this isn't just in your coaching work. If we wanted to generalize it a bit, you can do better in rapport in your whole life. And again, the feeling you're in with people determines how relaxed they are with you. It's the same in a love relationship. You think you've got that partner of yours, you know who they are. But if you deepen your feeling with them, the rapport with them, it would relax their mind somewhat. And they would begin to share more of who they are with you. You'd start to see more of this person, the beauty of this person that you hadn't even thought of. So it's just so much that we can begin to become aware of in our relationships, including our coaching practice relationships, that allow us to be of service to that. If we really value um, this feeling for being in a relationship with another person, being in a partnership in life with this person,